Hello and welcome to a new series of Transport Tycoon Deluxe with me, the Green Dragon. So, I did a very short series of this game way back in the beginnings of my channel, and I think we want to do another one. So we're going to be playing on the subtropical landscape. This time I have set it to be a you know, 512 by 512 map, so plenty of room, and it should be nice and fun. There are some limitations on. Of course, there is some breakdowns, though I set it to reduced, and the costs of maintaining and running infrastructure and the such like are set to be higher than default. Not that it matters all that much. This is a nice, relaxing game, and I've always enjoyed it, and I wanted to try and record a Let's Play of this properly. That should be adequate. Just make sure it's properly positioned, since I'm recording my whole desktop for reasons. Also, the left-click dragging is a bit weird, but mostly it's, I think, from my mouse. Not that it matters so much. So, looks like we have a very nice position here with 3 rubber plantations in close proximity and relatively close by. Also a couple of copper mines. So, how is the hilliness of this? You'll notice that I have the trees set to transparent is because it's a pain in the ass to do this otherwise. This is gonna be unfortunate because we would need to travel uphill. Maybe we'll leave this place till we have a slightly better set of things. Locomotives for it. This though could be good. It looks like we have a refinery up here. Yes, and a nice set of double wells here. I'm not sure if we'll have enough money to do that. What did I set the max loan to? My max loan is 300,000. Again, so we probably want a easier route, just to make sure that we have some money coming in and that we won't go bankrupt. Which is really kind of the important part. If you can guarantee that, you're generally gonna be cool. That is, again, with nothing close by. I'm gonna use the industry directory to find something that's producing a lot of stuff. And it looks like there isn't that much stuff actually being produced, at least as in terms of the top industries. So that's an oil well. That's one of those. We don't want those. I guess we're going to be starting with water, maybe. The towns, those towns that are actually built in the desert, will require water in order to grow and function. Like, for example, no, this doesn't need it, but it would certainly benefit from it. Well, it can certainly receive it since it has a water tower. So this is a decent sized water thing. Which way do we want to transport it? It would probably have to be northwards to probably to Winston, I guess. I suppose. Yeah, the sound levels look good. I'm just checking to make sure the music isn't too loud. Yeah, so now why don't we just get started in on this? Right. Can't do that while I'm paused. We're gonna build a single train. I might be tempted to build a bigger one, but let's not and pretend we did. Boom. There we go. You accept water. Excellent. And this is a relatively flat piece of land, which is useful because it means that the train won't get screwed due to reasons. And that I now spent quite a bit of money, unfortunately. Couldn't be helped, had to be done. But we now have a... Wow, this music. Usually this game has pretty good music, but that song just getting on my nerves. So how much do you produce? 136. That's 100. Let's go with a length of 5, I think. That should be okay. This locomotive is pretty powerful, even if it's not that fast. We get different starting locomotives than we normally would in the temperate map type, which is fine. Such are things. And we want another line getting moving. We'll check in on that train in a bit, but just want to make sure we have a... that's a really small town. I don't want to actually go there, because towns need to be supplied with food and water in order to grow, but that town might not have enough buildings to actually accept food, in which case that would suck for us. Little bit hillier here, but this is okay because the uphill part is on the you know, setting out end, which means that the train will have to go uphill when it's empty, not when it's full, which means it'll be able to much better handle the weight involved. So we have just about enough money to build 2 lines, which is fine. It does mean that we will have to probably actually spend a bit of time fast forwarding, but that's alright. Like I said, the first thing we want to do is ensure that we have a stable source of income, that we are not gonna bankrupt our dumb asses. So let's just proceed with that. Full load, have at it. Have we started making money with this one? You're still loading. Okay, good. Let's watch this and see how it manages to actually do its thing. Yes, 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 there. That was about 8,000. That is not, you know, ideal, but it's something. And I guess that this is our next place, because this place does appear to have a rather large oil field. Okay, how do we want to move past that factory? Because it's in a really awkward position for me. We want to minimize the amount of uphilliness that we have to deal with. Crap. There we go. We'll have to do... Yeah. Because going uphill is bad, okay, kids? Just like drugs, going uphill is like drugs. Oh, that's gonna be so bad. Trains lose momentum every time they have to turn. And of course they also lose momentum on bloody freaking uphill drives, especially if there is a lot of actual cargo in them. We won't be able to afford the locomotive here. I'm just gonna buy up the things and let it fast forward. That's the first in-game year, incidentally. So yes, now we're gonna wait until we have enough to buy, well, till we have 50k, enough to buy one of those things. Trains-wise, we earned about 50,000 of raw profit there. of course, the infrastructure and maintenance has to be taken from that, and we did spend a bit on that as well. But overall, we have a hefty profit, and it's good. It's good, we're making progress. We're making progress and earning money, which means that this is a nice, good start. Excellent. Probably won't bankrupt now. And now we can just play with our choo-choos. This is really like a nice, relaxing sort of game, because you can play with trains. You see how the train slows down on every turn a smidge. Also on the climb, it actually having to climb here, going up, going back down. Ideally we would even out the terrain and have it raised up on a man-made ridge here, but we just don't have the money for that, so that isn't really an option. I really won't harness that oil field before it decides that it needs to, for whatever reason, degrade its production targets or whatever. Because you know, they do that. They actually screw you over like that. They start producing less at times. It fluctuates. Though, it's more likely to go up if it's being actually worked. Businesses do better when they get the transportation and stuff they need. Nearly through the second year of our business, could really use that locomotive here before something bad happens to this source of money. Yep, we have our first breakdown. Alright. Just... yeah, you're heading back to load up, or no, you're not. Okay, there we go. Choo-choo time. This should be relatively easy, I hope. We'll readjust this particular oil thing eventually, because it's, you know, we could make it more effective eventually with a one-time investment. Or maybe we'll just give it a more powerful engine that won't give a fuck about, you know, hills and stuff. Something with a lot of horsepower to its name, you know? So, that's loading up nicely. Good, good, good. We have to keep in mind that from the moment something gets loaded onto a train, a timer is ticking and the stuff you get decreases as, you know, your reward decreases as time passes. Because from the moment it's loaded onto the train, the cargo is in transit and the travel time is taken into account. At the same time, you also have a rating, which means that if there is a lot of crap waiting at a station without being picked up, or that happens for a long time, the ratings will suck. They will go down, and that means that less goods will actually be sent to the station. We might actually want a second train here now that I'm looking at it. Ideally, you want a really good rating is something like 75%. Now that is good. Something like 50 is... it leaves a lot to be desired. What's your total load? You have... yeah, 2 trains of 9 cars might have been better, but then I would have had to buy another choo-choo. We're not really in position to be buying too many choo-choos right now, unfortunately. We do have that place up in this direction where we have, yay, 2 oil fields over a relatively nice stretch. And here it would definitely be at least 2 full-length trains. So we can start working on that, actually. And yes, let's get on with it, because there's an opportunity to earn money. And capitalism! Yay, capitalism! Heartless, money-mongering profits. People need water? Fuck that. Transporting oil earns more cash. Yay! Yeah, see, we're not getting that good a rating on the oil. Which means that essentially the industrial capacity of the oil wells is being wasted, right? We're wasting the opportunity to earn money by transporting that crap. And that's not good. Don't want to waste money if we can avoid it. Here we can do this. And that will allow us to get the train things across because they can handle a slope. In the OpenTTD version of, you know, Transport Tycoon. How do we want to approach this? What level do we want to be on? So that's this level. No, we want to go up at least one more here. So like this, I think. Well, let's do it like this and traverse over. I think that's good. That's a long ass ride. We might want a third set of tracks here at some point. Because, you know, funnily enough, if you had only one train on a track this long, the rating may well degrade to like a minimum of 15% during that time, and that would be bad because then the train would have to build it up from nothing and you would actually get less money. Not just overall, but from the single train you had running it. You know, you would get less money per train as well as overall. Point is, there is like sort of a balance you want to aim for with these things here. And over on this side, it's clearly we are on the wrong side of that balance. This really does look like a place that needs another Choo in order to be... See, we're down to poor. It's not good. Don't want to be down to poor. Nor here, I'm not sure if 2 will be enough given the immense distance and the sheer amount of cargo we'll be trying to move. So that's this level, and that will be fine. In theory. In theory, we are gonna need gonna have to figure out a way to actually afford some choo-choos for this place. Because I would like to start one train moving as soon as possible. Yeah, ideally you would have one train rapidly loading and another one rapidly unloading, and you know, just always have one train loading and another train pulling in as it's leaving, just to squeeze the absolute maximum out of every industry that you can. Those that produce enough crap to be worth a train, of course. And as for crap that isn't worth a train, well, fuck that crap anyway. That crap isn't worth talking about. I tend to treat this game to a large extent as a choo-choo simulator, and you know, this is me recording myself playing with trains. Because it's fun! Yay for trains! We can put a depot set here, I think. It should be more or less adequate. See? It's only 2/3 loaded, and it's not even loading that quickly because the rating is so crappy. That definitely needs another track, though. I mean, it really does. I suppose I will build a pair of choo-choos for this, and then I will add to that particular track. Because we kind of should. These... It's June, and these aren't earning as much as I would like them to. Why? Has this gone down? I think it has a smidge. See? Fluctuations and bullshit. So we don't want to build a Choo-Choo, that's what we build last. First we build the crab, because the Choo-Choo will be decaying while we're doing that, and that takes half the cost of the train is the cars themselves, so this is down to mediocre as well. Yeah, the single Choo-Choo approach in a lot of places isn't working that well. So they're managing to earn cash, which is the important bit. It's the income to ensure that we need to ensure that we, you know, stay above the surface of the water, as it were. So horribly inefficient running this with a single Choo-Choo. It's a two Choo-Choo job. That's pretty obvious at this point. And we are earning very little cash because of that. Because the ratings are down and just... it's bad. But you know, that's fine. I tried something a little different than what I usually do. And that's okay. Speaking of, incidentally, if you want this game, just OpenTTD. You can download it for free. It's an older game, but it's absolutely awesome. It's really, really fun. Honestly, it really is. It really, really is. And if you could just somehow earn enough money for me to afford the locomotive there, that would be good. Wow. How much of my actual money is you're doing? What do you do? Do you like... I think this train just makes 1 or 2 trips a year and that's it. Because this just sucks so very hard. Speaking of, I will be moving the depot to the other side of the thing here, because that just makes sense if I'm gonna be adding a second Choo-Choo to the side there. And it looks like that's the only sensible place to add it, really. Rating here is good. Well, it's good as the train pulls out. It will swiftly start to decay. And by the time it's back, it will be down to mediocre. But at least it's staying at mediocre to good levels, which is something. While here, well, by the time we start to repair it, this is good. Actually, this is a cheaper train. Cheaper and weaker, in fact. We won't be adding it to the... to here, I think. Well, let's compare. Half the horsepower, but on relatively level run, it might be better. You know, I might actually focus on these crappy trains, to be honest. Because they're cheap. And cheap is good these days. So, you know, sure. Don't have that much hilliness, I think, and oil doesn't really spoil, so there isn't a huge debuff for, you know, doing it that way. And I mean, we'll make less trips. Most of the debuffs are gonna come from us screwing our own ratings in a way, but shouldn't have bought a Choo-Choo first probably, but oh well, done's done. Let's see how it manages to Yes, I'm aware. Okay, screw that train. This one. Wow, that's loading fast too. I'm curious to see just how much per trip it can gain and just how crappily it will move. It has 600. Wow, yeah, they're gonna be unreliable at first because we need to experiment with them in order to be able to actually run them properly, because they're essentially a prototype model, right? And we're testing them out for the company that designed them. Wow, that's rough. That's gonna be really bad. Possibly not the best place for these to be tested out, but oh well. I don't want to replace Choo-Choos that are already running, because I won't get all the money back for them, and I would really prefer to obviously get cash flowing. Just need a smidge more and I'll be good. So it can barely, yeah, it can't really accelerate all that well because of, you know, weight. So one of these cars weighs 50 tons. Did I overload it? 54 tons. 54 tons, that means that 13 of those is 650 plus the locomotive itself. Yeah, we can't use the strain for that. We'll try and it will probably sort of manage, but it really shouldn't be using crap like this. It doesn't have the horsepower to pull that much weight effectively. It just doesn't. Which is sad. But we'll figure something out. Well, we'll have to replace them, pure and simple, but you know, we'll manage. So, could you just... yeah. Weight is a lot bigger than the 44k though. Yep, you're going back in the depot, as will you after you go to the thing. See how much faster it is? It can't even... Here's the fun thing, right? Ooh, new diamond mine, sweet. Here's the fun fact, it barely moves at half its speed and has trouble going up hills because we are so... and it breaks down a lot. It's less than half of what a steam engine that works properly could do here. So, that being the case, you are out and we are replacing you with this. Congratulations, you suck. Yep, you are happily forcing your way up the hill somehow. But hey, we're gonna earn money here, and that's gonna be good. Of course, the rating here is down to very poor, because we just plain suck at that. Because, you know, we really might want to consider a third line here at some point. You know, that's not important. Right now. Right now, yes, see how slowly it's crawling? That is not how we want this to go. That is, in fact, very bad. But at least the one trip these test locomotives will have made will be enough to allow us to replace them with something better. Again, really obvious facts. But you know, reasonings. Anyway, let's go on and send it back to its thing. It will give me a pop-up when it gets over there. And why don't we go over here and start working on a second Choo line? Because reasons of great glory and justice, and also money. Money is good. We like money. How do you... sigh? There. This away. There we go, and we're just gonna bring it around as per the usual. I'm gonna have to do a bit of terrain leveling here, of course, but that's again pretty standard. Choo choo! Choo choo. And I should have enough money to equip another train for this place at least. So the steam engine with all the things, and we're just gonna copy orders by carefully clicking on the appropriate train. There! So that's a start. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed this, and we will continue in the next episode, so see you guys then!